per my agent's suggestion, he said that we ought to seek out Alan and Jim to produce the show, because I trusted them implicitly. And so I signed the deal with CBS, and I guess they clinched Alan and Jim. And the pleasure was given to MTM, and or maybe CBS said, do it to MTM, and they did it, and it was all a package. And the idea to take this half-hour comedy show and turn it into an hour, more or less, drama show about newspapers was Jim and Alan's idea. Out of that, they brought Gene Reynolds on, who's the most unbelievable researcher in the world, and he went all over the country gaining the story about news. Got two people from the LA Times to coach and guide us. I was placed under orders by Alan and Jim. We're not going to be down on the set like we were with the three-camera show. It's up to you to maintain the flame of Lou Grant. Jay Sandrich said the same thing to me. You've got to keep the character, remember who the character is, and keep him alive, and so on and so on. And I got down on that floor, and with a single camera and a new crew, and so forth and so on, and began slogging through the first shows, and nobody's laughing. And I'm so busy gesticulating and grimacing on that set to punch whatever I'm finding funny and to make sure that the audience knows this is a laugh here and this is my old stunt there. I was becoming a nervous wreck. And that went on for about 6 or 7 shows, and I was having a miserable time, very miserable time. And I was under therapy at the time. I didn't last long with this guy, but one of the prizes I did get from him is after the show opened, and I came in finally for a session, and I said, what do you think? And he said, why are you grimacing so much? That's all he said. I said, I'm trying to get those laughs that the guys told me to remember who Lou was, blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay, I'm going to forget about comedy. I'd been using my brothers, as I said, for that comedic Lou Grant. And I turned around and went into myself. And whatever Lou Grant did, I said, how would he respond? How would I respond? More and more. And I don't know that you can see the slightest bit of difference between that show and this show. But I was just relieved. I threw the monkey off my back. I felt there were only 3 weighty subjects we really couldn't do that much with. That was busing, which was very hot at the time.
Busing.
Gun control, which nobody seems to want to touch at that time, certainly. And abortion.
But everything else was fair game?
Mm. And, you know, I became more and more entrenched into the Latin American problem. And we even did a good job of cruising over that subject. I think it's the finest ensemble cast you'll find in a TV show. During the vast majority of the Mary Tyler Moore Show, I was the chief. I was the 600-pound gorilla. Constantly, in terms of Lou Grant, I had to defer to a theoretical 600-pound gorilla, although I never regarded him as such, Charlie Hume. Mm-hmm. But the real 800-pound gorilla was Mrs. Pynchon.
Miss Pynchon.
And I felt like such a fish out of water because I'd gotten this unbelievable plum given to me by Charlie, and I thought I knew newspapers and journalism fairly well, but I I was always concerned that I was always a beat slow behind most of the drummers in the office.